there's a balance to that. Ego can be a tool, it can be a weapon, it can be what drives us to stress and always needing more to fill that longing that is really something internal. Or it can make us feel less than. Where do you feel ego fits in with what you've experienced between the political aspects, the lack of connection? Do you find that there is a need for balance, for understanding the tool versus weapon approach that can be found in ego?
I appreciate you stating that ego can be a tool. I have a hard time understanding where we can use it as a tool.
We don't do it often enough to really understand that, but yes.
But I as a weapon, definitely. I've actually studied religious studies and women's studies as my two majors during my bachelor years, many years ago. And when I studied the monotheistic religions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and I am of a Muslim faith. I'm a Muslim, so I follow the faith of Islam, and I practice it to the best of my ability. Am I a perfect, good Muslim? I would not judge myself because I don't know what a good, perfect Muslim is. But the basic principles of doing good, of living a humble life, of living and understanding the purpose of life. Why are we here on earth as human beings? And if we just see ourselves as individuals in this big, huge universe that we can only, as human beings, conceptually realize the enormity of, we are but a speck individually. And we are finite. We do die. Whether people believe in afterlife or not, we're not going to even discuss that. But so far, we don't know of any human being, since the history we know of human beings, that they've lived forever, because they don't. We always die. And so knowing that we end, it's precisely this realization that why be egotistic about a nature that we have which is bound to end? Why do we give such importance to us as human beings, as the individual, when you know that there's more than 7 billion of us, and this is just the human beings, not even counting the other living things that we're supposed to share this world with. So it's for me, it was a very natural thing that I am no bigger than who I am in my body and in my soul. And what I've discovered in my experience, and particularly this becomes a gendered thing too, the way world politics run, and unfortunately we know the reality that most of world politics are run by men. And for men, it seems like this natural, I don't know if it's a natural phenomena, but it's been taught to them that it's only natural to be egotistic, to be powerful. Somehow ego is associated with power.
Yeah.
And perhaps as a woman, I don't understand that.
Which is probably a good thing.
And then that's what I wanted to say, that actually I don't regret not understanding that, because I don't see ego as power. Because what I witnessed in my short period of time at the Ministry of Education in Afghanistan, surrounded and working with men mostly, through other ministries, or the majority of the cabinet was run by men. There was this incredibly vicious and ugly competition of taking credit. Because credit taking it's part of the ego, right? You feed your ego through making yourself and others believe that you are capable of doing these things. And at the end of the day, my take as minister was, and I saw the struggle, and I saw not only people running and fighting for credit to show themselves politically to the president, to the cabinet, to the country that they had done this thing. My take from day one until day last was, as long as the work gets done, who cares who did it? I mean, really, at the end of the day, whether I remained a minister or not, my mission in joining the ministry was to serve the children of Afghanistan. And if I was going to put in place policies and procedures and mechanisms and bring about the reform agenda that we had proposed of making the education system a better system for the country and its future through its children, why did it matter if I, Rangina Hamidi, did it, or if thousands of employees that I had? Because at the end of the day, my tenure or my time at the ministry was going to end. The maximum that I would serve would be 5 years. And the maximum that I could serve was 5 years. After 5 years, I was going to be removed if I'd remained alive. So who cares who gets the credit? And so that, I think, is an important question to bring to not only conversations, but to disciplines, schools and universities and institutions that teach politics and that teach leadership and that teach, people, technical professions, to say, yes, doing good work is great, but if you're going to go and be nasty about grabbing and crediting every little step you take to say, I did this to feed your inner, this ego, this call for feed me, then the whole purpose of your job or your action becomes just feeding this voice or this void, and not necessarily feeding the purpose of doing the great that you're supposed to. And I think that really, for me at least personally, that differentiates the notion of what a good leader is versus what's not a good leader.